All right, welcome to it's not actually a stand-up. This is a team meeting, product retrospective on the last day of CS24. This is the CS24 _ Tico group. We're going to be sharing our projects, going over just what we did for the treasure hunt, and looks like we're just waiting for people to hop on in. So let's see. Everybody. Excuse me. Oh, Jade.
Hello.
What up, Jade?
Nothing much. Just need some more sleep, but
Dang, what time did you sleep last night?
Obeyed and I stayed up. I think I got to bed around 3:30.
Wow.
Yeah. Because we were determined to get this done.
You guys are the real MVP. You know that? That's the real MVP right there. Nice.
Yes.
And you guys are working?
We had to hack our way through it to get it to work. So we only got 475.
Mm-hmm.
I went and we all three of us readjusted our code to see if we get more. They stopped, I kept going, but I got stuck at a point. But I was able to pick up a few more rooms, and I knew we had all the important rooms.
Okay.
And Shannon, our third member, she actually printed out all the rooms on her terminal.
Uh-huh.
So she was able to get the directions for the terminal, and then we had a print statement in our traversal to say when we got the shop ID, pirate ride ID, and the well.
Nice.
And then she also did the room description, so we were able to search for it that way.
Okay.
So you're able to do it. Hey, Obeda, how you doing?
Beta! You just woke up? Oh, man.
I'm telling him our adventures, Obeda.
Hey, you guys will remember this for the rest of your lives, though. Hey, remember that time we stayed up that super late, tried to traverse through all those rooms? Remember that?
We didn't even get all the rooms, you know?
She said 475, right? You guys got all the important ones anyways. And Shannon got, she was able to map all the rooms, though, right?
No, all the 475 were from her, and I'm sure that's actually 485 because I literally used curl to get some other rooms.
That's what I did. Because there was only 25 rooms that we didn't have. And my luck, my coin was in a room that we didn't have. Yeah,
him and Shannon.
But Jade,
I got 2 rooms, and we had the 2 rooms.
So I stayed actually like 3 hours curling and trying to figure out how to get to this damn room.
Man, that comes in the clutch right there.
Yeah.
Whoa, Jade with the save. Hey.
So it was, Catherine really, without those 2 videos and without her giving us a roadmap, we probably would have stayed up longer. That really, really saved us.
Yo, so you're talking about last night's roadmap, like the extended trailer version?
Yeah, both of them. Because I watched the first one after you'd posted it, and then I rewatched the other one because there's like tad bits on the front and the end of what she had explained already. So combining all of that, because we were up late and like we told our other teammate go to bed because she's in New York.
Oh.
And she was like making all these mistakes because she was just so tired. But anytime we had a question, I went back to my notes and then back to the documents and combined to like
Dang, nice.
keep us straight. But yeah,
We messed up in the beginning. That was our fault.
Yeah.
We it would have been super easy if we just did a normal traversal and we actually read the stuff. But what we did instead was we grabbed the traversal and we just started like adding a bunch. Yeah, we just added a bunch of code. And so like we already dug such a deep hole. And we were all running it. So we never was really coding for 2 days pretty much because we were all running it on our computers. And it was just like, it took like 8 hours and I was stuck on 359.
Dang.
so
That should have been the first time.
and I like added some print statements to see where it was getting stuck, and I just, because our traversal was so big, I couldn't really figure out why it would get stuck in like the 320, 350 range. It would just sit there. Anytime we got to that range, it would sit there and get confused. So
So lesson learned, 2 hours of coding will save 3 days of planning, right? That's the idea. I think, there's an infamous saying on that actually somewhere. Catherine, the MVP.
Hi guys.
Catherine, the MVP.
you are a lifesaver.
MVP. 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 These two here just explained to me that had it not been for your roadmap and your extended trailer version of a Cliff Notes version of what you're supposed to do for the entire traversal and treasure hunt repo, they would have stayed up all night. They only stayed up until 3:00 this morning, Pacific Standard Time, because you were able to provide them with that roadmap, and we recorded it, and they referred back to it last night. So thanks to you, they got to sleep.
That's awesome.
I saw you in the wishing well yesterday.
Oh yeah? I was mining. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you in the wishing well. And you moved it. I was still in the wishing well.
Yeah.
Because you were examining the wrong thing.
Wishing well, dude. Did
Never
you guys get
again.
the front end going, Catherine, or no?
No. So my team wanted to further optimize. So we, in addition to like WAS Explorer, we implemented Dash and Flight and Warp. So we created an edge between the two worlds. So the shortest path is actually like you could warp, fly, dash.
Dang.
And then they just did recall. So I just pulled in Mastodon. I haven't tested any of the new stuff, but for some reason, any bugs that we have always comes up on my computer for like whatever reason. It's like my friend Miriam's like, it's working fine for me. I'm like, what's going on with mine? Like,
don't you just love it when developers say that it works fine on my local machine?
and I'm like, well, I'm the only one that gets all the bugs. It's like literally, like, it was like always me in a Zoom. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? And then I would have to like I was like copying over code, just make sure I hadn't like missed anything. It was, so we automated mining and
Nice.
yeah.
You guys realize like this whole week, since I didn't do the project, because I was a TL and TL training at the time, the whole week I had no idea what you guys were talking about. Like I was literally just like, let me help you help somebody else help you so that you can get where you want to go. But yesterday was a really good example of like you guys just coming through in the clutch and me just being blessed with such a great team. Because Bill Goon, yeah, my dude Bill Goon from Brian's group, he hit me up maybe like an hour before our stand-up. He's like, hey, Tico, Brian's not here. He's in an interview. Can you just look at my code and just like tell me what's wrong with it? And I'm like, sure, check it out, you know? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that's doing at all because I don't know what Pee-wee is and I don't know what he's doing there. So I was like, hey, just send that to me and then I'm gonna get back to you afterwards. And then when he dropped it and shared it in the group stand-up, I was like, oh, Beta, thank you, brother. Thank you. He's out here like explaining the pickle and Catherine's coming through with the roadmap and then their other group member, Chad, was like, yeah, I can meet with you. And in my head, I'm like, why didn't they just collaborate in the beginning?
That confused me too. Like the fact that people were like as if like they had done pickle and already made the map, but someone else on their team hadn't made a map and was trying something else.
It seemed like they just paired off instead of
Yeah, boggles my mind.
Dude, it didn't make sense.
I literally asked him. I mean, I thought it was a dumb question to ask after he just explained his whole code. I said, "Hey, did you? By the way, like you asked like your teammates, like did they get a working traversal?" I don't actually know. I didn't ask. I was like, "Come on, man! Come on, man! Come on, man!" Like you're gonna go look up some PB documentation before you just hit somebody up and say, "Hey, like, did you get a working traversal yet?" So, anyways. I'm glad that he got connected with Chad and then they got stuff going. So, and then Obeda, thank you. And Catherine, thank you for all that stuff yesterday.
I just want to say our code is very janky.
It is so janky.
Whether it's janky, whether it's spanky, or whether it's wanky, if it gets you to mine a coin, MVP. MVP.
Yeah, we got the coin.
MVP.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
It is basically a lot of commenting out and commenting back in code traversals.
And then manually curling.
Yeah, here and there.
Whether you win by a mile, a second, or a pound, it's still a win.
Yeah, true.
Where is Bryant and where is Luis? Luis is in TL training. I guess the only thing we were supposed to do in this thing, which Catherine, I'm sorry. I was like, Catherine, did you fill out your sprint retro? And she's like, yeah, I did. It's like, can you submit it again? I just don't see it on here. And then turns out like somebody in our TL channel put that they were experimenting this build week where they rolled the build week, the unit retro into one form with the sprint retro. So it's just one form. So if you fill out the sprint retro, you essentially fill out both. You fill out the unit retro though.
Gotcha.
That's what shows up as mine. So thank you for doing all that. But yeah, we're supposed to take this time, I guess, to just show off our projects to one another. And then our section lead was literally, he didn't show up for stand-up this morning. He's very, very sick. So he was sick yesterday and I filled in for him, volunteered to fill in for him and held the stand-up for the section leads for the other TLs. And then this morning we just didn't know what was going on because we normally meet with him before anything happens. No. So I hope he's all right, man. He's probably very sick. So he normally will work through anything. So I guess you want to share your wanky, janky, swanky?
No, not at all, actually. I prefer not to even show anyone this code until after the weekend. But I mean, yeah, I don't want to.
Can you at least show us like a window that says like you?
I can show you a picture.
Yeah, there we go.
I took a picture last night after Obeda and I like got off the call. Perfect. To show proof that not only I'm forged, but it was like in there. So that's when it was forged. All and right. Then this shows the status as true.
Hey.
So
Catherine said it like white girl Ace.
I did that too. Hey! No, I did that. Like when I got my first coin, I was like, just to make sure. I was like,
just to say,
screenshot.
Yeah, just to have proof.
That's good.
And then also, Tico, just in case you're like, hey, did you get it? And I was gonna send this to you of my triumph of like 3-something in the morning.
900 gold. Nice.
So I can show you, I still have my terminal open. So I can show you 2 mine coins if you'd like, not 1.
Oh,
2.
snap.
Yeah, you got more.
Snaps.
Actually, I just went to sleep right after this. So here's the first one.
Oh, yes.
U block forge, but this is not mine. So this is someone else's. This will be, I guess I should just go. Well, let me actually just instantiate 1 sec.
Oh, man. Hey, did you guys get any pictures of your faces when you guys got that coin?
No, because we both weren't impressed because we were just so tired.
I'm actually still not happy right now because we still don't have all the rooms. We just got lucky.
What happened?
So we didn't get all the rooms. One of our teammates, she modified her code and she printed out room descriptions and the room directions. And she only got to 475 before her code like completely just stopped working. So we manually took the directions. So we did a raw version, or at least I did, of her on her GitHub branch. And I looked and just did Control F and found the room descriptions that way, and then found the corresponding room numbers. And we dumped it into our Git directions for our graph class. Yeah. So, and then it was a combination of, I had run and did the same thing. I didn't get as far as she did, but I ended up getting some rooms that she didn't get. So it was Control Fing in like 2 different VS codes to like add the rooms I had to what she didn't have.
Yeah.
With curling to other rooms, like manually just putting in curl commands to grab a few extra rooms.
You know what? You did it.
That's all that matters,
Yeah. So
That's
I think
mine.
there, yay.
Yeah. You know, we could have just rewritten the code from yesterday morning, but we had it running on our laptops for like 8 hours. I had mine running from like 8 a.m. till, what was it, 5:30 when we decided to refactor?
Yeah.
Because I was stuck at like 359 for like 4 hours. It just wouldn't move anymore. And we should have rewritten the code, but instead we didn't. Anyway, so this has mine equals true.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Then this is the beautiful code that we have.
You're gonna share it.
This was supposed to be in functions, but I just threw it in here. See, look, we were so organized in the beginning, to do, and then done, and then all that just went to hell. And so this is where we instantiate graph, and then we have move, and then we have wise moves. We actually implement wise move in our BFS to move faster because we know where the rooms are. And then this is our traverse function. The traverse function, a lot of it is commented out, but this is, so as we were traversing, we're also picking up items, and I think that was another fault. It was slowing us down, so we got like heavily encumbered a lot. Yeah, I was so encumbered. I was like 50 seconds probably per move or something. At one point, he said max 6 hours. Yeah, right. It was like 10 hours, and I still didn't hit 500 rooms. Anyways, but so this is like as soon as visited hits 500, we return. It's just a normal, to a certain extent, it's a normal traversal with a BFS in it. If the exit's key equals question mark, and if moved equals false, which it should, we move, and then we add it to the vertex. And when it adds it to vertex, it actually does, it adds edges, and it adds it to room info and room directions. So we had like, no, we had two, sorry, this is edges. We had 2 different vertices inside. This is one, which we ended up taking self.directions from Shannon. And then this is self.room_info. Anyways, and then so if this is shop, this is how we found out what the shop ID was, wishing well, and then shrine. But this code doesn't work, so it doesn't really matter. And there's no such thing as shrine. It's like 2 different shrines. And so yeah, this is, we commented this out, or I commented this out to run it again because it was going super slow. And then we push the next room ID into the stack. And then depending on directions, this is pretty much where it would hold the last room ID that didn't have, or that still had question marks in it. And then if there was no possible directions, we hit a dead end, we would do a BFS. And then this is where we would first ran the code. This is where we tried to do the pickle stuff. We never really did the pickle stuff, to be honest. And then this is, oh yeah, this is the pickle stuff too. Ignore this stuff. Okay, and these are this is where we're trying to manually figure out what rooms we had left, or what rooms still had question marks after the fact. Yeah, so we'll ignore that. Okay, so this is, what was this one? No, this is nothing.
No, that was part of the pickle stuff you could ignore.
Okay. And then this was ignored too. Okay. So this is actually, I ran this again. This is a little separate because I was trying to test out stuff based off of this. Okay. And this is how we traverse to the shop. There's a while loop. It takes us to the shop. which we knew what the ID was because we had printed it out, which is 1. And then as soon as we get there for I and coins inventory, we sell. So that was that. And then this was the pirate ride, which we command F to find. And so this is 467. And so once we got there, we changed name. And then it told me to go to a shrine, which turned out you didn't even need to do. So I went to a shrine nonetheless. I went to the big one. And I prayed, and I got some abilities that I didn't use at all. Because I didn't care about the abilities. And then I went to the wishing well. And then this is where we got really stuck on examine. Because in curl, it was in the brackets, but you're not supposed to submit it with brackets, so submit it without the brackets. Yeah, Shannon's TL came through at that point. And then this was, well, mine was 195, so I just hard coded what mine was, but I didn't have 195. So I had to mainly go back here and figure out how to get to 195. It was one of the 25 rooms that we didn't find in my life.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All fun and games till I start getting hurt. And yeah, so then once I found it, I just updated the stuff in here, as you can tell, manually by curling. Yeah, and then we got here, and then mine
Biceps should be huge from all these curls, man.
What?
Your biceps should be huge from all these curls.
Right, that's what I've been saying. And then I figured out difficulty was 6, and my mining wasn't working right because I think someone else was mining at the same time, Catherine. And I think everyone was. I think a bunch of people were mining at the same time, and so like every time
you see her at the wishing well, like, you're still here.
Yeah, I was like
sleeping.
We were sitting at the wishing well, and we see someone come in, and we were still stuck because our examiner was working. And then we'd hit examine again, and the person would just leave the room, and we're like, well, we're still here. And so we figured out what difficulty was, so we just hard coded it. And then this is mine, and then the proof of work is just a simple function that I just took it. The one from the sprint wasn't really working, so I took it from the blockchain actual like day challenge that we did. And then I put get proof, and then difficulty. And so I also think it wasn't working in the beginning because it was going really slow. So I would run this, and then I put it into this, and then I'd get it back, and then I'd run it into this. But when you put it all in one, there's success. Yeah. Woo. Such good. I don't feel sad at all.
Yeah, remember Luis, the instructor from backend? Do you guys have Luis or no?
Yeah.
He's the best.
I didn't.
He was my favorite.
Yeah, he was. He was awesome.
I learned the most from him.
He's like, okay, today we're going to meet our friends, Rek and Rez, the homies.
The homies, yeah.
Homies.
The homies.
Y'all did Node?
Yeah, we did know.
Did you learn Node or you went Java?
That was one of the worst decisions I made in land. That was going Java.
Oh, really?
Did you know Node before?
So I wanted to do, no, I didn't. And I wanted to do Java because I felt like I enjoy I enjoy Python, so I thought I'd enjoy Java. And then the whole curriculum was really, really bad because it was like 5 or 6 weeks and they tried to change it. It's like 3 weeks and 4th week is a sprint. Oh. And all of it was, we pretty much learned how to copy and paste. So like during that sprint week, that was probably as bad as, well, this one I didn't really code because we were just running. So that one was really bad because like I was pretty much learning Java the week of the sprint week. And I was with data science. And so they were sending us data and like we just didn't know how to manipulate data coming in from like a PostgreSQL database. It was like really bad. And once I finished, I was like, well, yeah, but I still don't know Java. And I should have done Node. Lou also did it. And we both came out like, because we both ended up in labs together. And everyone's like, all right, what backend do we want to do? And I was like, well, definitely not Java because I don't know Java. But they're redoing it. So like the teacher, I forgot his name. Our classes were 3 hours and like 30 minutes or 4 hours, like straight up. We'd have to watch the pre-video stuff, and then we'd come in and he'd go over like an hour every day.
Whoa.
Yeah, but they're redoing the whole curriculum. So he's like genius. I don't know if they're offering it anymore right now.
Is he still gonna be teaching or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there were some bad teachers, to be honest, but in Lambda school. But most were good.
Yeah. That's very
Well,
true.
Dan left apparently. Dan
Dan
left.
left?
He
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, he's no longer with Lambda.
Did they
Oh.
fire him or did he leave?
I have no
Dang.
idea.
Dan Freiner?
No,
Dan
No,
Levy. We had Levy.
Oh, yeah, Dan Levy,
They had
yeah.
him for 2 months, right?
We had him. Yeah, we had him
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. It felt like 2 months.
We had it in 15 weeks. We had Dan Levy.
We were supposed to be changing over, but that didn't quite happen. So
I think a lot of people were really mad.
yeah, because he was like, "Oh, just kidding, I'm back." He's
And I was
nice,
like, no, don't kid.
nice guy, but he just couldn't.
Yeah.
His teaching style was, because he has ADD, was a little all over the place. Which I've had teachers that have ADD, but maybe he hasn't learned how to
to
teach.
teach.
Yeah.
And he's also in such a high level too of understanding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And like
that's true.
his response was like, just Google it. And we were like, but I don't even know what I'm supposed to be Googling. Like, I don't know the question to ask because I don't understand any of this. And then the resources that I get, I don't understand any of the words because no one's explained any of this to me.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch a lot of Josh Nell stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He saved me.
Yeah,
Me too. I mean, he knew his stuff. Like, Dad knew his stuff for sure.
Oh, 100%. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I think maybe if people had more like JavaScript experience or something, maybe like they would, it was easier for them. Like,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I think like, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I feel like the real key to helping people understand something is not necessarily how much you know, but how well you can explain it. Right? Like I feel like a lot of you guys know like even a ton more than I do on certain stuff, but it's just the way that you can explain it and can you get somebody to have a light bulb moment. That's why I do a lot of the that's why I wanted us to practice from the beginning, like the Project Euler problems, just getting used to verbalizing your explanation, because like that is essentially how you win somebody over in an interview. You know, like your interviewers basically wants to know, like, do I want to work with this person every day, or do they just like suck at talking? Because you could be good at figuring things out, but if you can't explain it to your teammate, then whoops. Anyways, I wanted to share with you guys the, so I was a labs TL for labs 15, and Jaden Obeda, I stayed up, I wrote probably, there's 9 of us. I wrote probably a third of the code base, because a lot of my team members, they just, they weren't as strong, and they weren't like very confident in their skills, right? Like they were actually decent developers, but they just didn't have a lot of confidence in their own ability. And so like there are times where like we had a launch that was due the next day. It would be me and like 2 other developers out of 9, like working on this. It was insane. But I'm gonna drop some pictures in the channel of just how crazy, like wacky we got at 3 o'clock in the morning. I even had my baby, like I was holding my baby, feeding her a bottle, like while we're sitting there launching. And then I asked like if you guys had celebrated or took pictures of yourself, like when you got things working. I was tasked with implementing search, like index-based searching on a Postgres database. And so there's a picture on here. You'll see me and my friend Mikas, one of my students, we were high-fiving digitally on cameras. We wrote the raw SQL queries using SQL or connects.raw, I think was the method that we had to use. It was insane though.
I love the virtual high fives.
Yeah.
We had to celebrate because it was like, it was so late. I don't even know what does the time say on there? Like there were some mornings where I didn't even sleep. Like I just would go
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like there were times where I would literally leave from that and I would go and like my dog would wake up because at this time I was coding in her room. If you look at the background,
It's a pink.
purple background. Yeah, I was coding in her room because I didn't have anywhere else to code. And actually this picture that I just dropped right now is a picture of me holding her bottle with my mouth while I'm typing. And I think trying to launch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it was we were just in the zone. Like we just had to get stuff done. And then like on the last day, I believe, we're all like sitting in the Zoom. We're like going through the release cycle, the get release or whatever. And it's funny because everyone's just so wacky that they just start drawing on the screen, on the Zoom screen. And like my friend was drawing me there, drawing this old man, and yeah, it just got super goofy. So that's why I was wondering if it got goofy with you guys last night when you're staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
I think, no, not goofy, just frustration, mostly. And like Obeda just kept saying, you guys should go to bed. You guys should go to bed. Because since we were, we're closer to Eastern time. Yeah. So Shannon did, but I was determined. I was like, nah, I need to do this. I need to do this.
Dang, I like the resolve. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have anything else.
What besides the assessment? What else are we supposed to like?
Oh,
yeah, you guys just got to finish that.
I figured I'd mentioned it because I almost forgot about it.
Good call.
I forgot. Do I have to actually take it? It doesn't even matter, does it? I'm just gonna.
It doesn't matter. They don't count our scores.
Yeah, it doesn't count against.
My friend took it last night, and she says it's timed 27 minutes, and it's difficult because it's like multiple choice, where it could be like more than one answer's right. So, I don't like the move over to multiple choice because I feel like that's also like testing your test taking ability.
It's like another layer of difficulty.
Abstraction away from like the material,
Yeah, I would agree.
Does anyone have the link to this test?
Yeah, I dropped it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going through yesterday. And I don't know where you put it. I know that you sent it, but I don't remember where. Oh, found it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's supposed to give you the invite, and then they email it to you.
Oh my. Sure. All right, apply for the test. So exciting.
But after this, like, we can go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
There's no
more done. Like now it's crunch time now for you guys. You guys have to get on the grind and collect as many rejections on the wall as I do have right there.
Oh man, is that your motivation?
You know what, Tico, you're gonna get like a great job that's gonna be like the perfect fit, and they're gonna give you all the money, and it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm having faith.
Yes.
I'm just gonna keep grinding, just like you guys do. And I
lead code. Just do lead code.
Lead code, yeah.
Every day, 5 questions.
Really, that's what you've been doing, Obeda?
Yeah, Loki. I'm just good. Especially this last week and a half, because I got some challenges, and let me tell you, just got absolutely floored on these. I had one that was, they gave us 6 hours with 3 questions, and I could have solved. I'd solve half of them, and because I think like Lambda gave us everything we need to do well on the job, and even the CS portion like prepped us well. But for example, like there's certain test cases that like I just haven't thought of because I haven't done the practice. You know what I mean? Like we haven't practiced enough. So it's kind of like I'll pass like half the test, and the other half will be like I just don't know. Like I forgot to take into account 0, or like a negative number, or like a capital letter. It's like some random thing that like I just didn't think of.
That's why that's why I was always like pushing that on you guys. Like, think about that stuff.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. But
there's also go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just gonna send a link. There's also a good online free class. I don't know if you could already sent this, but it covers data structures and algorithms again, like and you can do it from Python at least. That's how I did it. But it's like short videos, gives you a quiz, it explains things. It's pretty good, to be honest. And I've just been going through that a little.
Awesome.
So, yeah, let me find it.
Catherine, you said you went through, what is it, Edibit?
Well, for when I was in like when we were in like web dev stuff, the main track, I would just do Edibit because their other coding challenges were just like beyond me. Like, and so I just started at like very easy and like went to easy because then it's like it would also, since like I was so new and I'm still so new to coding, it was like being able to, they would show like links to like different methods and things of like how to solve the problem. So that helped me, but I definitely need to practice like factoring and lead code stuff because I was going to try to do that like this weekend.
Yeah. And like lead code is nice because like some of the problems I started doing on there, you'll see pop up like the palindrome that we did last week,
Mhm.
I think, right? There's a palindrome question we had.
Yeah.
My,
We had a
so,
palindrome and Euler. Yeah.
yeah, and then they gave us like another palindrome in LeetCode, and then you can see like after you submit yours. I don't know if any of you use LeetCode.
I haven't tried it yet. No.
I really like it because after you submit it, it tells you like you've performed faster than 8% of the people or 88% of the people, and you saved this much memory versus this much memory. And then discussions, someone who's used Python can be like, I've optimized it. So you can compare your code with theirs and see like, okay, so this is what they did. Let me refactor my code and submit again. And then in their solution, it gives you a breakdown. But it doesn't in Java. So you don't have to look at it. You can just, I mean, you can read it. And then afterwards, in the discussions, you can find someone that's done it in like the language that you submitted in. So there's JavaScript, there's Python. It's really cool because like the person will submit it, and sometimes there'll be comments under. So you can click, and someone will ask, "Why did you do this?" And the person will be like, "To save time. It saves us like this much time." It's like pretty helpful, to be honest. Yeah, I just sent me
Cool.
code in there too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
That is sweet. What was I gonna say?
Also, on that note, let me send something else to you as well.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, if you guys need any help with any resume stuff, portfolio stuff, or anything, hit me up. Yeah, anything you guys need.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You guys are welcome to use those courses or whatever on Udemy. You guys have the credentials for that. Ton of stuff in there. Somebody just hit me up like last week saying that they want to learn PHP or something. Because a lot of the developer jobs in their area call for that. So, dude, I got a PHP course. Go ahead and use it. I'm not using it, so.
Yeah, PHP is making a resurgence.
Well, yeah, why is that? I thought wasn't it supposed to be like an old language?
It was Facebook, and I just found this out because of the internship I'm trying to get. Apparently, Facebook went and did their own updated version of PHP called Hack, I think.
What's it called?
Hack, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, it's Hack.
Oh.
And apparently, they've made some of the security issues that was running with PHP, like insertions and stuff like that. Apparently, they've gotten rid of a lot of what was happening with that.
Oh, sweet.
So that's the answer the technical recruiter gave me, because I said the same thing. I was like, I thought it was, it's a old dead code. And she's all, no, it's making resurgence. And then Facebook did their thing with it. So
should we learn PHP?
I mean, if it's in your area, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the main sentiment is pick one or two things and get really good at them. So like if your thing is JavaScript and Python, like those two things, just get like ridiculously good at those and then start to like add more things to your tool belt, I guess.
Yeah.
I also just sent something called built-in. I don't know. Maybe you check this out. And Tico, in this, you can search different cities and filter for remote. So there's also like companies, yeah. So these give you like a bunch of startups in your area that are hiring most likely. And you can filter by like top workplaces and whatnot.
I just found this last weekend. Thank you.
Yeah. I've really been hunting. So like there's AngelList, there's Work for a Startup, there's a lot of links.
Thanks, man. Sweet.
Awesome.
Dope. Yeah. That's all. What else do we got? Anybody doing anything? Like, what are your plans for after starting Monday? Real job hunt?
Get my materials together, or try to, and just practice coding challenges. Yeah, and just like with like syntax and stuff like that, because I often get tripped up on that. So, and then practice going between two languages.
There's so much to know. Like, oh man, when I first got out of CS and then like labs and stuff, and I was just out here on my own. I had to develop like a plan, and because I mean, like, there's just so many things they tell you to do. Like, okay, well, you need to contribute to an open source project to show that you're all about open source, and you need to make sure that you're honing your skills in your language. And after that, you need to make sure that you're branching out and doing other things as well. And then you need to also show that you're a creative writer. So you need to write a blog too. But then on top of the blog, you also need to make a portfolio site, and your resume has to be dynamic in a way that, sticks out when a reviewer sees it. I'm like, there's so much stuff, bro. Like, well, you should be going to a meetup. When do I have time in between the code challenges? I'm eating cereal. I'm watching code challenges in the shower with a clear shower curtain that has like little pockets. You can put your phone in there. And I'm just sitting here scrubbing like this and like calculating the O of N runtime while O of my hair runtime. It's just too much, dude.
Which is why I'm glad they have like an endorsement unit, because I feel like it's so hard to try to balance like getting this stuff done and then like focusing on the curriculum or whatever like, you're doing that day. Because they say like Lambda hours will be like whatever to whatever, and you get an hour lunch, but like really it's like you got to tack on at least 3 hours to that.
Yeah.
Like a day. You know what I mean? And then it's like, do I want to have a life, or do I want to work on my portfolio? Like, do I want to eat a meal, or do I just want to like work on my portfolio and eat cereal? Yeah. So
that's the truth of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Jade, what are you gonna be doing?
Well, because of the internship, the technical recruiter who reached out to me, I had to, that Thursday we were doing, what was it? I forget what we were doing. It's all a blur right now, but I worked on a portfolio, my resume. So I have one. It's not very it's kind of static and it's one page, but it is up and running.
Cool.
So part of that, I'm deciding whether to switch to React portfolio if I really want to tackle that now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, and then enjoying the snow because it's been kind of dry here in Colorado. So we finally got snow this week, so I'll probably go make some snow angels and whatnot.
That's so
oh,
funny.
nice.
Yeah,
Enjoy snow. Like the schools around here just had a snow day today, and I hate snow days because I'm a very routine kind of person. I like routine because it's predictable and like I can be like ultra productive.
yeah.
As soon as there's a snow day, kids don't have to go to daycare until 2 hours later. My wife doesn't have to go to school to be, to work as a teacher, and it just throws everything off. But I'm glad you enjoy snow days.
Yeah. It's because I lived in California for so long. I mean, I was born in New York, but we left when I was like a year and a half. So anytime there's snow, I'm like, snow, and my husband's like, you're ridiculous. So I'll probably go out and enjoy the snow this weekend and on Monday. Yeah.
Jay, did you build your portfolio with HTML5 up, or did you do Gatsby?
I did Bootstrap because that's actually what I learned before I got into Lambda. And I've gotten better with it because of going over that components section made me understand it more. So it's all Bootstrap.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Will you drop a link for it?
Yeah, actually, you can do that right now. And please feel free to give feedback or anything you think I can improve on. Like it's kind of basic. Where is it? Here it is. I mean, besides styling, because I love styling, but that's the link to it.
Sweet.
I need to learn how to style all over again. I think towards the end of like labs, I was just doing styling inline. Like that's how I was doing all my styling.
This looks awesome.
Thank you.
This is hella clean.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys.
Damn.
See this real quick. Okay. Oh man, that's like, I gotta look really close. Is that like a design in the background there?
Yeah, it's a design
Very subtle.
that matches my resume that I did with Illustrator and Photoshop.
Wow, swag.
I don't even know if my links are still live.
Wow, swag.
I think one of my links are dead, but yeah, it's
As you scroll, like the link change
This is
color.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Swag.
Yeah, this is super nice.
you.
Oh yeah, what's up dynamic animations when you hover over these projects?
Damn, girl. Fuck.
That's good.
Thanks for the reactions, because like I wasn't sure if this was gonna be
That's hella nice.
okay.
What's up,
Cool.
responsiveness? I just went down to iPhone 10 size.
That took forever. I was doing so Thursday she contacted me and then she told me, I'm gonna give your resume out to my 2 team leads next week so they can look at it. And I was like, oh crap, this isn't responsive. So I spent that weekend like doing nothing but responsive design.
Hamburger transitions look good too, like
Okay, cool.
from the
All you
responsive.
do is you gotta add Node and Python.
Oh, okay. Thank you for my node add.
Make sure you run. Did you do a Lighthouse audit on it too? Just to.
What is Lighthouse? I do not know what Lighthouse
Okay, so
is.
if you press or right click on your portfolio and then you like inspect, like pull up your inspector tools.
Yeah.
At the top you have like these tabs: elements, console, sources, and audits. Click audits, and then you'll click generate report, and it will actually generate like the company's called Lighthouse, but it basically will audit your website and tell you based on like a 0 to 100, like what your rating is in all these different categories in terms of performance, best practices, accessibility.
Oh, like
It'll tell you all
SEO
that
and stuff? Okay.
Yeah. So
Because
that
that's
way, yeah.
those are 2 areas I need to work on is accessibility and SEO.
Actually, it says your accessibility scored 96 out of 100.
Yes. Thank you, Bootstrap.
SEO was 100 out of 100. Best practices 71. Performance 70. So, and then they actually tell you though, like where you can improve. It like takes you to the code and everything. So check that out. That's something that I use like when you do an interview and they ask like, hey, have you checked out our website, our company website? How would you optimize that? First thing, that's the first thing I do before I even like go into the interview. I'm looking at their scores, their Lighthouse scores, and I'm like, okay, so they can improve on accessibility. I'll bring that up in my interview. Hey, your website here only got a 65 accessibility score on the Lighthouse audit on DevTools. I would obviously improve accessibility. Like,
Sweet. Thanks for
yeah.
Thanks for that, because that'll help.
Jade, are these your drawings or
Which
picture?
which ones?
Behance.net?
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are my drawings.
Wow.
I had to take a couple of drawing classes for the graphic design at Foothill.
That's so cool, yeah. Oh, and by the way, so do you guys remember that thing that I dropped in the channel about getting endorsed ASAP?
Yeah.
So my career coach just reached out to me, my solutions coach. She just said that they heard back from that company that she reached out to, where I didn't have to send my resume. She just blasted it out there for me. They're going to be reaching out to me to schedule a phone interview late next week.
Let's go.
Yay.
So like, yeah, get endorsed ASAP, because then you'll get like these cool people to work for you. And they're not like, they're going to work as hard as a recruiter, but they're not like incentivized by the money, because like recruiters, they'll try to get you a job, but they'll try to get you the lowest possible deal you can get so they can get a bigger cut, like in their commission. I believe that's how it works. Whereas like the people on the solutions team, like they just want to get you a job and they want to do everything they can to get you the one that you want. So you tell them what you want. Hey, I'm a beta. I want to work at a startup. Elon Musk has to be CEO. Like, that's what I want. So then they're going to go out there and find it. And then they're going to ask you if you want to interview. And they say, oh yeah, I would love to interview. Do you want me to submit my stuff? I have to fill out an application tonight? No, I'll send it over for you.
That's sweet.
So nice.
That is sweet.
So get endorsed ASAP.
Right, definitely.
What happens? Should we get our interviews next week, right? They tell us.
Yeah.
We don't know
I
what
just
what
said-
though yet. Like what's scheduled. If you
Anything
could-
on the front end, I'm gonna fail. So I need to go study.
Yeah, I need to study. Like I don't have like an interview like before I have time to like study everything. It's like there's too much.
There's so much.
There's a lot.
There's so much. Oh man.
Quite a bit.
Well,
I guess I should take this assessment before lunch.
Glad that other people could join us, but at least we got some of the crew in here.
Yeah.
It's just a sad day today. It's a sad, bittersweet day today.
Yeah, it is.
Like you guys are all grown up now. What are we gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, you guys are gonna do great. I'll see you in the higher channel, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you as well. And if I run into any resources, I'll just shoot them into the Tico channel.
Absolutely, man.
Please.
Same here.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of jobs. Are you all just trying to work like in Denver and you're trying to work in New York?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Tico remote. If I run into stuff, I'll just send them your way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wait, you just want to do a startup anywhere, or it's got to be in California?
Yeah, I prefer California for now. I don't mind doing like a bigger company, but I'm more focused on like startups. Yeah.
Gotcha. Anything in particular in terms of like the industry? Like
No, I just want to be interested in the work.
No, okay.
I just want to be interested in the work. I don't.
Gotcha.
Not very particular about what. There's a I think I sent to you, Tico, but work at a startup. That's something right now.
Work at a startup.com.
Yeah, the Y Combinator website.
Oh yes, drop that in the group for everybody. Too.
Yeah. So this right here, what's cool is you fill out your stuff, and you answer like if the more in depth you are in answering the questions on there, they make it really manual on purpose. And all these Y Combinator, YC is like, I don't know if you're all familiar with YC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all the companies, it's almost over like I think 300 or 400 companies are looking for software engineers. So it's a manual process. And then after you finish filling it out, if someone likes you, they'll reach out to you. So I did have someone reach out to me. I bombed the interview, but anyways, but like they'll reach out to you if they like what they're seeing, and then you're able to apply. But when you apply, you like send a personalized message, so your hit rate is a lot higher. Your response rate is a lot higher.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me send the.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And you can filter per region too.
Those are like official startups. You know how like some startups you like, like somebody just made it in their basement. Like these are like YC startups, so they are funded, they are backed. I mean,
so they've gone to like those conferences where they have to present like their Steve Jobs to get investors. So they've done that already. There was a show that came on, was it YouTube? And it was just a bunch of episodes of doing that. Because I never knew how that like got started.
Yeah, the process.
Yeah.
Super interesting. I'm really into startups.
You've been watching that? What's that?
Shark Tank?
Huh?
Shark Tank?
Shark Tank? No, the movie with Justin Timberlake. Social media.
Social network.
Social network. Yeah.
No, I actually didn't. I really got into it because I started listening to a podcast called Masters of Scale, and it's a really good podcast. The person that does it is the one of the ex-owners of PayPal. He went on to found LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, and now he works as a VC. Yeah, so like actually all the people that founded PayPal did really, really well. So that's him, and then you have Elon Musk, and then you have like Peter Thiel, and you have like all these people who like helped found PayPal, who are like all killing it. They all have like other companies have sold, and they're all like multi-hundred millionaires. I don't know how to call that, and like billionaires. And it's like super impressive because like they were able to figure out like the secret sauce essentially of like how to do this. So like even one of them, his name is Peter Thiel. He just like finds people, and if he likes your idea and likes you, then he'll like throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at you and your idea. And usually his hit rate is pretty high. Like the success of the companies they invest in does really well. So anyway, so the podcast talks about like what startups should do and like how to, it's super interesting. It's like really like you start listening. Masters of Scale.
Yeah. Link to the podcast, please.
Oh, I don't know.
I listen to podcasts in the morning when I'm working out.
Yeah, Masters of Scale.
I usually listen to like leadership ones. But yeah, this one sounds interesting. This
Yeah, it's super interesting. And they'll bring in actual people. So they'll bring in like the CEO of, the current CEO of like Bumble. She'll come in and she'll like talk and they'll like interview her. And then they'll bring in like the CEO of Airbnb, and then they'll talk. It's like super interesting.
I'm gonna check it out, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Catherine, will you, if you get an acting job before you get a software engineering job, will you link us to like the movie that you're in or the show or the commercial or anything? Like, just promise us that you'll do that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, hopefully I get more acting jobs so I don't have to get an engineering job for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if you produced and directed your own social network too?
Well, maybe with my software engineering money, I can afford to make my own movie.
Then you can cast us. Then we can come. Then Obeda could be really like a real CTO of a startup.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Catherine, are you in New York?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are you acting like Broadway, off Broadway?
No, I'm going for film and television.
No? Okay.
Yeah, so I've done mostly like indie film.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
It's not easy trying to do arts as a career at all.
I feel like it's a good mixture though, right? Like you got like art and then like software, which is like just more logical based. It's like if you can combine those two somehow, like that.
I feel like there are actually like a lot of artists who end up like who also either like make a transition or also like musicians or people go into coding. There was a book called Painting, something about like code and painting. Basically, it was written by the guy who was actually co-founded YC, Hackers and Painters, I think, maybe. Is that what it's called, Hackers and Painters?
You're muted, Obeda.
I think so. I think I ran into that. I think I know what you're talking about. They were talking about on Twitter.
Yeah, by Paul Graham.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But like about like the artistry in coding and stuff, and I don't know. And then I just feel like I've come across like a lot of like art teachers and stuff are like trying to learn music. Like there's an artistic bent, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to do opera in San Francisco, and it just wasn't happening. So that's why I switched to.
You can sing opera?
Yeah, that's what I went to school for.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've never known somebody that can sing opera before. So
yeah, it's a definitely niche.
so
but
cool.
yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
So there's truth in what you're
So
saying.
many hidden talents. Like you guys got so many talents. Like if you could just interweave this into software somehow, I feel like there are a lot of problems out there that need to be solved. Like this gives you the power. Lambda is literally giving you the power to create something from nothing. I mean, it's the first time I've ever felt like a builder, to be honest. Like I've always been somebody who's like very service oriented. I've never like made products and everything like that. But man, since I've learned how to like build software, it's the first time ever you don't need any capital to like do something. Like you like the memory is just there. Like memory and stacks and queues or whatever else. You don't have to go buy like 2x4s and nails and screws, to make a house, right? Like someone asks you to make a house, you gotta buy all that stuff. Software, it's like right here, dude. It's like right here. Like, you don't have to buy anything. It's crazy. I mean, the power is there. We have the power. It's there.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Hey, what was that book that Obeda that you suggested? It sounds very similar to Hackers and Painters. It was like that numbers book.
A Mind for Numbers.
A Mind for Numbers. What that was about a girl who like was never really good at numbers and good at math. Right?
Yeah. She's a professor actually now. She like went to undergrad. She did Russian, and then she went to the army. And she said she was like really, really bad at math, and she hated math. She didn't think she would be good at math. And then in the army, they started giving her specific roles that somehow involved some like math. I don't know how. I forgot how. Forgot that portion. I don't know. I'm not sure how that worked out. But like, so she was like, okay, screw this. I need to learn. I think because she also needed a promotion, she needed to be like decent at some level of math. So she went and she like studied math in college. And then she's like, crap, I might like this. And then she went and she did like engineering for her like undergrad. She went back to school, and then she did another master's in like math or engineering, and she did her PhD in math and engineering.
That's crazy.
And she like talks about how we actually all should and do like math. We were just not taught right. So like our mind is always doing math. Like when we throw a ball and we catch it, when we drive and we're able to guess how to park, like and estimate right distances and whatnot. And she just talks about, it's like super interesting, and how you're supposed to learn and different methods of learning. It's a pretty good book. I mean, like some of it is kind of just like generic, like okay, cool, but there are like practical tips.
That's on my reading list for sure.
Yeah.
That is on my list. Yeah. All right, y'all. I think I have to get going now. My wife might be coming to pick me up. So
It's been fun.
Yeah,
Yes, it has
definitely.
been.
yeah,
Good
guys,
luck
thank you
everyone
very
on your
much.
job hunt.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Yo, hit me
And
up.
I will send
Meet,
stuff.
all right.
Will do, and I'll send stuff in the channel if I run into stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
All right, guys.
All right,
Yeah.
folks.
See ya.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.